Peter Buchanan, how to manage the transition from team member to team leader at work. Also, how to manage the change in relationships for coworkers and subordinates. This is a great question.
It is good. I would actually say to go back to the book, Leadership Strategy and Tactics. If you haven't read it, then you should definitely read that, because inside of the way that that book is laid out, he goes through and he answers, Jocko answers questions like this, like, hey, how do I manage relationships when I transition from team leader to team member to team leader? And he'll go through and I'll actually write that out and document how you should do that. So it's a very good book for transitioning into leadership. Yeah. How do you make the transition? I think, man, this is tough. You know, you're going to have some relationships that are pretty close that maybe are so friendly that it makes it more challenging. But I think you continue to maintain the openness of the relationships. I also think that you don't become you don't overcompensate. I think a lot of people tend to do that, like when they move into a new role, that they'll overcompensate and they'll start dictating and bossing and just turning into a jerk. So just make sure that you're still open, that you're still receptive, that you're still humble, that you're still learning from people who are, technically they're beneath you in a way, like they're I don't know they're just your team members, we'll call them. So continue to use their feedback and their input and get their engagement, keep them involved in the process, and then just transition slowly. Like, don't be so abrupt that all of a sudden it's like, whoa, who's this Ryan guy? Like, why is he behaving
let me change this, and I'm going to change this. And
right.
Because be frank, if you have that attitude, you're arrogant. You're arrogant and ignorant, because you assume that your way is the right way without all the details. So
definitely
give it time to transition. Yeah.
And you undermine your authority, right? Because you could probably, as a team leader, get people to do what you tell them to, because that's their job. They have to. And there's a risk to them not doing it, which is losing their job. And I had a gentleman on the podcast, The Art of Coaching, Brett Bartholomew. He talks about the difference between, what term did he use? Compliance and commitment. So you can get people to be compliant, right? Because they have to follow you. They have to do what you say. But that isn't commitment. Commitment is another level. The way that you get commitment is by being open-minded, by being humble, by including them in the process, by being transparent on how things are going. I realize you can't share and disclose everything, but there's certain things that you should be able to share with them about how performance is and what metrics we're looking at and why we're doing things the way that we're doing. The more transparent you can be about it, the more open, the more success that you will have with those individuals. And ultimately, if you decide and make it about the team winning, not about you winning, because sometimes those can be at odds with each other. Hey, my job is to help you guys win, not to help me win.